Welcome to Retext Solution Python Programming. This is a continuation class, day 6. Okay. Last class we ended up with we started loops and we have seen while loop and some basic of for loop. And today in today's class we are going to continue with the for loop. Okay. Once again, I'm giving a brief description about the for loop here. Okay, for loop is nothing but for loop is used for iterating over a sequence that is either a list, tuple, or a dictionary, a set, or a string. Okay, for loop is used when we know the iteration. Okay, we know the number. If you want to loop through a value, for example, it may be a string, or we want to loop through a list. Okay, we want a separate value of list, or else we want to loop through a range. Okay, from a particular range, we need to perform some action, means we can take a for loop for that. Okay, we will see a practical example of a for loop, and this is a syntax of the for loop. Okay, for loop starts with the for keyword here and on the variable name and in the iteration. Okay, this is called an iterator and a iteration value. Okay, for in this in the range. Okay, and the statement is going to be here. Okay, we will see this a practical example. I'm using an online editor, you can use your own. Okay, for creating a for loop, first I'm going to call my for keyword and I'm going to pass my variable name here. It's going to be height. Okay, I'm going to iterate for I in range. Okay, I in a range of 5. Okay, range of 5, and I'm going to print I. So we got a range 0 to 4. Okay, we got a value from the range of 0 to 4. Okay, this is a valid syntax of creating a for loop. Okay, next we're gonna see some problems regarding using a for loop. Okay, the first problem will be a write a program to display a multiplication table. Okay, okay. My first problem will be multiplication table. Create a multiplication table using a for loop. Okay, for that I'm getting an input from my user. First I'm getting an input from a user. It's going to be an integer input. Okay, I'm creating another variable end. Okay, this is going to be end value that I want to multiply. Okay, my next line I'm calling my for keyword here for I in range 1 to end. Okay, end plus 1. Okay, I'm adding end plus 1 here because if I'm doing 1 to end means in the range of 1 to end means my value will be stopped before the value of end. Okay, for example, if my end value is a 5 means my value and my program will stop when it come to 4 itself. It will not perform the value of 5. Okay, that's why I'm adding plus 1 here so that the current precise point of my end value will be calculated. Okay, then I'm gonna print n comma x comma num equal to n star, sorry, it's not a num, it's an I, n star I. Okay, if I print, I'm gonna get the two tables till 10. I'm making an error because I flipped some comma and quotations here. I forgot it. Sorry, my bad. Okay, if I run now, I'm getting two tables and 10. Yeah, we got the answer for our two multiplication table. Okay, this is a simple for loop statement to create a tables. Okay, for the tables period. Okay, we can do it at an extreme also. For example, if I'm giving the value of, okay, I'm getting a table of 19 till 100. Okay, here we go, we got the value of 99 table till 100. Okay, it's a simple task like that. Okay, now we are move on to our next problem. We will move on to our next problem. Okay, our next problem is write a program to find a factorial of a number. Okay, our next problem, we will see that in a practical example. I'm going to comment this out, and to create a factorial of number, first I'm creating an input. I'm getting an input from a user. It's going to be integer input. Okay, and creating another variable like fact, and I'm assigning, and I'm assigning 1 to it. Okay, and I'm creating a for loop with for I in range 1 to n plus 1. As we see in our previous problem, I'm assigning, getting the range from 1 to n plus 1. Okay, to get the precise value of n. Okay, then I'm making my factorial. Fact is equal to fact star I. Okay, I'm gonna, sorry, sorry for the intelligent text editor intelligence, I'm getting some trouble here. Okay, I'm printing my fact value here. Okay, if I run this code, okay, I'm running this code. I need a factorial of 10. Okay, we got the answer. The factorial of 10 is this. Okay, the factorial is nothing but of multiplication of each value. For example, if I see means, what is factorial of 10? We got the same value. Okay, this way we can check whether the given number is a factorial or not. Okay, what is a factorial is? I think most of you have this is the main formula for the factorial. Okay, n into n minus 1, like that. Okay, there's a perfect formula. Okay, this is a factorial code. Okay, in here I'm using the factorial number till 10. Okay, I'm using the factorial number till 10. That means 1 star 2 star 3 star 4 star 5 star 6 star 7 star 8 star 9 star 10. Okay, this will be my factorial calculation to find the value of 10. Okay, 10 factorial will be like this. Every time I've created a fact value with a value of 1. Okay, I get an input from a user. This is what this input will be the number that I want to find the factorial. Okay, every time I'm making a loop until this number reaches, okay, using the range function, and I'm getting the number in a I variable. Okay, I mean each time I'm multiplying fact with I. Okay, for my first case, my first I value will be 1, and I'm multiplying fact with 1. Okay, previously fact has a value of 1, and I'm multiplying 1 with 1, my value will be a 1. Okay, and next I value carries 2, and I'm multiplying 2 into 1, my fact value will be now changed to 2. Okay, and once again my I value get the value of 3, I variable get the value of 3, and multiplying 2 into 3, that's going to be a 6. Okay, like this. Okay, like this the loop will be running until it reaches this, and until this condition is satisfied. Okay, this way we can find the factorial of a number using using Python. Okay, commenting everything out here. Next we're going to see another problem. Okay, our next problem will be write a program to find whether given number is a prime number or a not. Okay, you will see that with a practical example. Okay, to find a factorial of a number. Okay, to find a prime number, first I am creating a variable n to get an input from a user. It's going to be an integer input. Okay, okay, and then I'm passing a if condition to check whether the number given n is equal to 1, because 1 is not a prime number. Okay, 1 is not a prime number, but if you have included in this code means it will give a conflict. Okay, that's why I'm assigning 1 is, I'm making a condition to check whether it's a prime number or not, because 1 is not a prime number. Okay, and if this condition doesn't satisfy, I'm making the else part, and here I'm making a loop. Okay, I'm creating a for loop for I in range from 2 to the n value. Okay, 2 to the n value, and I'm printing it. Okay, I'm making the loop. Okay, now I'm making my condition. Okay, here for inside the for loop I'm making another condition to check whether if n mod I is equal to 0, if n is divisible by I value, the range of I value, then it's not a prime number. Okay, it's not be a prime number. Okay, elif, I'm creating another statement, elif I'm creating another elif here, elif I equal to n minus 1, I'm gonna print its prime number. Okay, okay, before this condition I'm making another condition here. It's going to be if if n value equal to 2 means 2 is a prime number. Okay, I'm going to print it's a prime number, and after that only I'm passing this elif condition. Elif condition, and I'm creating another thing is making another keyword here. I'm using that's called a break keyword. Okay, I'm using this new keyword here, that's mean break. Break is nothing but I should break. I'm saying to the Python, break out of the loop if this condition has been satisfied. If any of this condition has been satisfied, I can probably surely tell it's not a prime number or it's a prime number, like that. Okay, I'm saying to the Python that if any of these conditions satisfied inside the loop means break out of the loop. Okay, so this is my code to find a prime number or not. Okay, I'm going to run it. If I tell 1 means probably 1 is not a prime number, as we mentioned here, this condition has been satisfied. Now I'm making 2. Now making two. I'm sorry, I forgot this thing. If I make it 2, 2 it's a prime number, okay. What if I make 3? 3 is a prime number. It's a prime number, okay. It's a prime number. And what if it's 6? 6 is not a prime number, and 8 is also not a prime number, okay. This way we can find we can use our Python to find whether given number is a prime number or not, okay. This is one type of method, okay. Next we will see we're going to check the given interval, okay, prime number between a given interval. I'm taking a 2 variable, okay. First I'm getting a 2 variable. First I'm getting a lower variable. It's going to be integer input, okay. And I'm getting my upper variable. Okay, these are my 2 variables, and I'm making my condition here, okay. First I'm checking my condition. Okay, sorry, I'm not. First I'm creating my loop over here. Okay, I'm creating my for loop for I in range lower to upper plus 1, okay. And then if 1, sorry, it's not 1, if I is greater than 1, okay, if this condition satisfied means I'm making another loop inside it, okay. If this condition is satisfied, I'm making another loop for j in range 2 comma I, okay. For j in range 2 comma I, I'm making another condition inside it. If I mod j is equal to 0 means simply I'm breaking it, okay. I'm breaking it. That's it, okay. I'm just breaking it. If this condition fails, okay, if this condition fails means I'm printing my I value, okay. This is my code, okay. I'm running my code, okay. First I'm getting my lower number. We're gonna start with 1 and we're gonna end it with a 10, and see, these are my prime numbers in an interval of 1 to 10, okay. These are my prime numbers, okay. Using this method we can find the prime number of a given interval of time, okay. Next we see another problem. It's going to be find an odd or even between an interval. We can make use of the same code. You'll see that in a practical, okay. We're getting a 2 input from a user, okay, lower and upper. To find a given number is an odd number or even number, okay. Okay, if I mod 2 is equal to 0, print I, else print I is odd. Is okay. Same, I'm using 1 and 10, okay. We got an odd and even function, okay, in an interval to 10, okay. This is another problem using a Python to check whether the given number is odd or even in an interval of time, okay. Next we move on to another problem, okay, adding two array values, okay. This problem is going to be adding two array values, okay. I'm commenting everything out, okay. I'm creating a two array values, okay. Array is nothing but of list, okay. 1 2 3 4 5, okay. This is an array, and another it's going to be another array 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I'm going to adding two arrays, and also I'm creating another variable empty list, empty array C. Okay, I'm passing my for loop here for I in range, for I in range 0 to len a, length of a, len of n variable. Okay, len of n variable, and I'm gonna c dot append okay, c dot append n of I plus m of I, okay, like this, and finally I'm printing my C. Okay, array is nothing but of a list. Okay, we can say it as an array also. I'm adding this to list and converting into a C. Okay, I'm giving this value to the C. Okay, for this first I'm making a loop over here for I in the range 0 to len n. Okay, it's going to be from 0 to length of the n. Okay, it's going to go like that, and I'm going to appending every time. I'm going to appending this I will be a range. Okay, 0. Okay, it's going to be an index position. I'm going to add those both index. Okay, if I run this code, we see that we add. Okay, we can add 6 plus 1 would be a 7, 2 plus 7 would be a 9. Okay, like that parallelly we have been added that and get the output. Okay, what if we have an higher value? Okay, for example, if m, I am given in m variable, I am given another variable, means probably it will not calculate. Okay, it will stop only till the length of the n. Okay, after this it will be not executed. What if I had another number here? Okay, it will throw me an error because my list range is an out of index. Okay, after the 6, 7, we can't add a variable to the 7, so that's why it's throwing an error to me. Okay, this way we can find a length, adding a to array using a Python. Okay, we will see another problem. Write the program to count a number of odd number and even number from an input, and it should contain minimum 10 character, and it must be a string data. Okay, we're going to see that I'm commenting everything. First I'm getting a string from a user. Okay, enter the value here, and then I'm converting this n string to a list. Okay, using the list inbuilt method called list. Okay, we can convert anything to an any format using the inbuilt function. Here I'm converting this string. Okay, n is a string here, and I'm converting that string to a list here. Okay, using this inbuilt list method. Okay, after that I'm assigning a length value. It's going to be a len of n. Okay, and I'm assigning two variables. Okay, even equal to 0 and odd to equal to 0 to count whether how many odd numbers and how many odd and how many add. Okay, now I'm creating my loop. Okay, for I in range of length. Okay, for I in a range of length, I'm checking if a of I, if a of I is equal to 0, or a of I equal to 4, or if a of I equal to 8, or if a of I is equal to 0 means I'm gonna add 1 to the even. Okay, even equal to even plus 1, I'm gonna one value to it. Okay, or else I'm going to add one value to odd. Okay, finally I'm printing everything out of the loop. Print even, print odd. Okay, now I'm printing it. Okay, first hello, sorry I don't mention anything here. Okay, hello. Okay, we got the output for the value 0 and 5. Okay, 0 even numbers and 0 odd numbers. Okay, and if it was A, B, C, D, E, F, G, we got 0 odd numbers, and so we got 0 even and we got 7 odd numbers like this. This is a Python program to check the right, to count the number of odd number and even number from a input data, and okay, input data, and it should contain at least a minimum number of 10. Okay, we have done with a string, but what if it wasn't like, for example, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 10. Okay, okay, I made a mistake before running that. I made a mistake here. I should convert every value here to a string value, because we are checking for a string value, and I missed 6 also. For a of I equal to 6. Okay, 6 is a string. This also must be a string. This also must be a string. If I now run this, I'm going to add my values to okay, we got the odd numbers and an even number in a string number. Okay, we got this odd number and even number in a string. Okay, this way we can find input, okay, from a string also, odd or even number from a string also. Okay, we will move on to our next problem. Count the vowel and consonants in a string. Okay, so our next problem we're going to see with a practical example. I'm going to comment everything out here. I'm going to comment this. I'm going to make use of this previous code itself. Okay, first I'm getting an input from a user. It's going to be a string input. Okay, and I'm converting that into a list. I'm making the len here. I'm going to create a count. Okay, vowel underscore count. It's going to be vowel count over here. It's going to be a vowel count, and another thing is vowel. Okay, okay, I'm making a condition. If a of I is equal to a, that means a vowel, or a or e, so my cap e, I or I O IO okay. If this condition is satisfied, I'm gonna add 1 to my vowel count. Okay, or else I'm gonna add 1 to my V count. Okay, and I'm gonna print my vowel count and my V. Okay, I'm gonna run this code. I'm gonna check hello Python. Okay, we got 3 vowels here. Okay, it's gonna be A, O and O. Okay, we got 3 vowels and 9 consonants. Okay, this way we can find the vowels and consonants using a Python function. Okay, I think that will be a clear one. We're gonna see another problem. Okay, count the small letters, small and capital in a string. Okay, this is going to be another problem and we will see that. Okay, we're going to make use of the same code. Okay, I'm going to print capital, small for I in a range. Okay, if I of A is greater than or equal to capital A of or is equal to capital Z. Okay, which means I'm add 1 to my capital B. Okay, if this condition is satisfied, I'm gonna add 1 to my capital, or else I'm gonna add 1 to my small. Finally, I'm gonna print my capital and small. Okay, if I run this code, I'm gonna add HE hello. Sorry, I made a mistake here. Now it's going to be an AND, okay, not an OR. Okay, I've changed it OR to an AND. Okay, I forgot this. If I run this code, okay, hello world. Okay, we got 2 capital letters and a 9 small characters. Okay, this way we can find the capital and small letters in our string. Okay, we are checking whether in a loop we are making a conditional to check whether the A of I is greater than or equal to cap, say like that, and A of I is greater than or equal to cap Z. Okay, this way we can also compare the strings in a Python. Okay, we will see next another problem here. Interchanging the first and last element in a list. Okay, I'm gonna interchange the first and last element in a list. Okay, I typed that code before we continue. I'm gonna just give an explanation because the time shortages. Okay, it's gonna be an integer input. I'm getting an integer input from a user, and I'm creating a empty list. Okay, with a variable of A, and I'm making the for loop, creating my for loop with the for keyword, for I in a range of n. Okay, for range of n means it's going to be range till n. Okay, and then x is equal to into integer input. Okay, I'm going to get the values from a user. Okay, and then I'm going to append it to an a. Okay, it's going to be a is an empty list and appending x to a list. Okay, list. Okay, I'm getting a list from a user. Okay, this way I'm getting a list from a user. Okay, and then I'm swapping those first and last. I'm then interchanging the position of my first and last variables. Okay, for that I'm just getting first I'm getting the length of len a. Okay, first I'm getting the length of my list a. Okay, after this I will get a probably some values in my empty list and I'm getting the length of my list with the variable v, and I'm grabbing the first value. Okay, using the index position 0. Okay, with a c variable. Okay, and now I'm just interchanging a of 0 to a minus 1. Okay, negative index will give the last number of the list, and now a of minus to c. Okay, this is called swapping. This is an example of a swapping also. Okay, if I run this code, I'm gonna take 5 inputs, maybe 5 inputs. Okay, first value. Okay, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, you can see that we have interchanged the first value to the final value. Okay, this is a problem of interchanging of values in our index position, first and last value of our index positions. Okay, before we move on to the next problem, another method in for loop is nested for loop. Okay, nested for loop is nothing but of a loop inside a loop. Okay, for this example, before that I'm creating a for loop for I in range of 2 for I in a range of 2 and for j in range of 2, for k in range of 2, print I comma j comma k. Okay, I'm now printing this. Okay, we can see a matrix type of value. Okay, this is we have getted this input using this nested for loop. Okay, a loop inside a loop. Okay, this is called a nested for loop. Okay, okay. And now we have some remaining set of problems. Count the occurrence of data in a list, sum of n number in a list, Armstrong number, and large number in a list, and smallest element in a list. Okay, try to solve it on your own. We will see this method. We will see these problems in our next classes. Okay, thank you. Thank you for today's class. Thank you.